Brightburn is a 2019 horror film that does look like a superhero-esque type of movie, and yes, it does have a certain element from a superhero film, taking, of course, a plot from that original Superman film that we all love. But this movie does a dark, twisted version of that, which I was really excited for. I thought this is a fantastic plot. This is a great idea, great concept they've got going here, and I just wanted it to be done really well. And to be honest, the majority of people were pretty middle of the road on this film, but I sat down and I really enjoyed myself. This is what I wanted from it, and maybe a bit more. I really, really did enjoy a lot of Brightburn. This was a really fun movie. This is a really good movie, in my opinion, and I really just honestly enjoyed it. I had a great time with this movie, and it's definitely not a superhero villain origin story. It definitely has elements of that. This is a full-fledged horror film. Um, about just a boy with supernatural creepy powers. I do have a few issues with the movie before we get into the things I really liked. There's some elements of the movie that just aren't paced very well. I think the movie's only about an hour and a half. It's way too short. I wish it was longer. I wish some scenes were more dragged out. They have a great family core, but some of it isn't explored as well. I feel that more time would have allowed more things to be explored, especially the character of this boy. I wish that was done a lot more gradually, and it sort of just comes straight up in the movie. It's like, no, this is what it is. This is a straightforward horror, sort of slasher movie with this kid killing everyone, you know. But I feel it would have been better if they just put a little more development behind that. Still, though, when he does that, it's really entertaining. And all the scenes before that with the family aspect and building this up, I thought were really interesting. Another small issue with the film is that I wish it was a bit more ambiguous. I wish it kept mystery. I wish it had maybe some unhinging moments. There were a lot of moments in the film where I struggled to watch because it was just really gory and gruesome and scary, which I really loved at the same time. But it wasn't that kept the movie going. It was that family core that I loved, and that was the best thing about the movie. You're rooting for certain characters, and it doesn't go the way I expected it to go. It's definitely a dark tone movie. If you don't like dark, like really dark toned movies that just make you hate certain characters and make you hate what certain characters are doing, then this is not going to please you. But as a fan of what I wanted this movie to be, I pretty much got what I wanted out of it. But I do wish some elements did keep the mystery a bit. It's like, the film is this, and it's so straightforward on what this movie is. It knows exactly what it wants to be, and it does that so well. But I wish the film had a bit more mystery. I wish it had a bit more ambiguity in some places. I wish it was more intriguingness. I wish there was more intrigue in this film, like a bit more of a mystery going on. I think that would have really elevated some scenes, and it would have made the entire experience a lot more entertaining to watch. But if you did see the trailers, unfortunately, they did spoil quite a hefty lot of the film, which I wish I didn't see the trailers, because they do ruin quite a lot of the movie. But I honestly had a really good time with Brightburn. It's a pretty solidly paced film. I enjoyed the reasoning behind what was going on. There were some scenes that were incredible. For the most part, the low budgetness of it, I actually think was pretty good. It allowed for this very small scale, which I really liked. The ending I really liked. It was dark, it was twisted, and I enjoyed it. There were some scenes that were very gruesome and very horrific, which I really liked. And as the film gets going, it definitely has a slow pace towards the start, but it has an engaging pace. It gets you to understand and see where these characters are at this point, and it has a good message behind it, which I didn't expect. And maybe it is about this crazy Superboy that goes around, you know, wanting to kill his parents and everything. That is just absurd horror cliche stuff. But because it has a certain family core, I feel the movie is elevated. But also it's about a young boy who's going through a troubling time, and he doesn't really know who he is or what he wants to be. And there's people that want to kill him, and there's people that he's not really too trusting on. He's like, there's no one to trust in there, and you can see the anger building up in him, and you can understand why he wants to like take over the world and do the stuff, and it makes sense. And that was easily the best part of the film for me. It's something that I didn't expect. I didn't expect this movie to have as much emotion as it did. I didn't expect the movie to have as much thrill as it did, and as much like angst. There were some scenes where I was like tight-fisted, like my stomach was feeling sick. It was really good horror stuff. This is a damn good horror film. This is a good movie. This is a good film. I feel that some audience members are going to watch it and not like it. They're not going to like the way it feels. It definitely has a safe approach, but again, they knew what they were doing. They knew what story they wanted to tell, and in my opinion, they told it pretty well. But yeah, I really did like this movie. It definitely has issues here. There are things I really wished the movie would have delved into a bit more. There are things I wish they would have done this, but they knew exactly what they were making here, and they did a good job making it. And I liked the core of what this movie was, and they focused so much on that and the style of what this film is. And I've always wanted to see a film in this sort of style. It reminds me of films like Split, that are sort of unconventional super villain origin stories, and I'm actually excited to see maybe more films in this sort of world of Brightburn. It doesn't have to necessarily be about that character, but I'm really intrigued, and if they decide to make any other movies, I'm intrigued to see them. One other little issue I have, it's not a spoiler, but there's an end credit scene, not like a mid credit scene-ish, that just didn't work. Leaving it simple at the end and then adding that in, I didn't really like. But the majority of the time, I thought this was an enjoyable, really good horror film that I recommend to see. I'm gonna give Brightburn a B+. I'm also going to give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. Guys, comment down below your opinions on Brightburn if you've seen it. Of course, thank you for watching, and goodbye.